Okay, so I noticed that you had problems rendering the transparency layer in After Effects. So, transparency layer, if you notice these two objects are here, you can check the visibility of the objects. So, these little eyeball right there. Okay, so we have the Foothills logo, we have a sword, and then you can toggle. Right now the background is defaulting as black, but you can toggle the transparency grid so that you can see what is actually on there and what is not. See how this sword has a black shadow behind it? So if I don't have the toggle transparency grid off and the background's black, it falls, that shadow falls into here. So sometimes before you render transparency layers, it's really important to see what's actually going to render or not. So if I want it to flatten out on a black background, that's okay to leave this black shadow here. But if it's going to go on, like, say, a red background, see, we'll go layer, new solid real quick. Let's make this red. Oh, that's pink. Bear with me. Red, gonna move this to the bottom. Then that shadow is gonna show. And that's okay if I don't mind it being there, but if I don't want it there, then that's something I need to address. So, back to rendering your transparency layer. So I have the timeline set. This is the beginning, this is the end, that's the render area, let's just say under 4 seconds. And then here's the big key here. So you can go File, Export, you can do Media Encoder, or you can do Render Queue. I would rather just do Render Queue for After Effects. If I was doing multiple instances, then I would use Media Encoder. So say you have like a big file that's an hour long, you could chop it up to render different segments. It would be like render, the first 10 minutes, and then the second set of 10 minutes, etc., etc. Okay, so now we're in the render queue. So I always like to go to the output module. This is the most important part right here, is video output. This needs to be set to RGB plus alpha. RGB plus alpha. So once you do that, it's going to render this as such with the transparency layer. I'm going to go ahead and let it render right now. It's going to go to the desktop. Okay. So render. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to pull that back in so we can check and see how well it rendered and whether or not it rendered with the transparency settings. Okay, so here's comp 1, boom, and yes, it's transparent. So that's how you do it. I hope this was informative and helped you out.